Welcome to Behind the Scenes, a deeper perspective in the industry. A show where we have an interesting, exclusive interview with your favorite personalities, checking actually what drives them behind the scenes. My name is Lovio Jacobs, and do not forget to like, subscribe, and drop your comments below, man. Show some love. And today on Behind the Scenes, we're having an exclusive interview with the founder of Let's Shoot with Adolph. He's also the co-founder of Foregrounding Woman, and also an aspiring radiographer. And today he is joining us. Hi Adolph, how are you?
No, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. First of all, thank
great.
you so much for allowing us to have this interview. I'm very much excited.
Thank you for
All right,
having me.
so now I'm getting straight to it. I want to go back to where it all started, right?
Yeah.
Way back in Limpopo, during your primary school days. Just take me through it. How was it, and then how was the environment where you're growing up?
Alright, like I said, I'm from Limpopo and right now I reside at Bochum. That's not where I grew up. I grew up in a very small place called Mahofe. Yeah, it's one of those places that was trending back in 2000 and something, 2006, because of the group. Those groups, my 28,
Yeah.
those guys.
Were you also part of a group?
No. No, I don't do those. So yeah, growing up, I was just a normal kid, growing in a normal family. By normal, I mean it's just I'm not from a rich family or a poor family. Yeah, our family is just moderate.
Yes.
Yeah, so growing up in primary, I grew up just like everyone. All good, and everything else changed when I got to high school. Yeah, the first high school I went to is Munyung, where I did my grade 8.
Still in Limpopo?
Still in Limpopo, Mahofe. That's where I did my grade 8, and then from there I moved to Venda. Yes.
You were once in Venda?
Yes, I was once in Venda, and for like a few months as well. Yeah, that was the first 2 months of my grade 9. Yeah, I went to Venda, Penny Sports and Academy.
Can you speak Venda?
No. No. 2 months is not enough to learn Venda. I tell you.
Yeah.
So yeah, those first 2 months, well, they were good for me, but for my mom, it wasn't really good because she had some stories about the school, and she was like, "Nah, I don't think my child will survive it." And then the problem started. So now we had to move from that school and find another school. And mind you, it's been like 2 months since that school started. So the applications are closed, and so. We went to Bochum, and then we went to the most famous school there called Dendron. And when we got there, we said, "Nah, you know what? We know you're gonna be doing grade 9. Okay, your marks are looking good, but just unfortunate you're gonna have to start with grade 8
Again?
Yes. Yeah, which is the very same thing which happened to me back in grade R, because my mom made me repeat grade R. It's not like I was dumb.
Yeah.
It's just that she just wanted me to repeat. So now it's happening with grade 9.
So basically, as you are seated here, you are 2 grades behind.
Nah, my
grade
mom.
R and grade 9.
Nah, grade 9. My mom turned down that one.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
And so now we had to move and find another school. All the spaces were full. Tried like all the places around that place, and until we found Rammutla. Yeah, deep in the villages. Those places where if you build a nice big house, it means you are rich.
You are rich.
Yeah, back in the rural areas there.
So I just found something. The whole gang calls it the ghetto. Yeah. So you found something there in the ghetto.
Yeah. Well,
Right.
and the main reason why my mom moved me from Mahofe was only because of the gangs. There was almost everyone around me was in the gangs, and now it's that guy who's always at home, and I'm scared of gangs. So my mom was like, I want the best future for my child, And so for that, we're gonna have to move you to a place which is a bit more safer. Wow. Hey, they good tricky there. Like everyone was going around with knives and then now, no. So yeah, we got to Rammutla and they were like, hi, we don't have enough space. So my mom begged and was like, hey, good people of God, my child needs a place to study and we can't take a gap, just please do something for us. The principal agreed. He said, that's good, just promise us the good results. And yeah, man, everything was good, but still, I was still the same boy who's always alone, enjoying his own space.
So in that whole process, from primary till high school, did you ever come across the idea of I want to be a photographer?
No. And I'm not growing up. I wanted to be just a pharmacist, or I just wanted to see myself driving big cars or some nice motorbikes.
You didn't care how you're gonna get there, but you wanted to be those in society.
I wanted to be that person, and according to what they told me, they said, nah, it's either medicine or pharmacy. And so the pharmacy thought
has always been in your head.
You see, yeah. So I wanted to study pharmacy after my mentorship, which unfortunately did not happen, but I'll get to it.
Yeah. And in that whole process, did you love pharmacy? Or you loved the idea of pharmacy?
I loved the idea that pharmacy pays. Because by then, when we check what we want to study, we don't really check what we really love. It's just the paycheck,
True.
So when I check, I put I search for careers, and then sort according to the price. The salary. Yeah. And on one of those platforms, there's nowhere they'll be like your own business and this is how much you're gonna make, which is might be even more.
Yeah. All right. Now, so fast forward to high school. Let's take it to grade 12 now. Now you're supposed to start applying for universities, and so taking you through that process now. Now in your applications, you were applying to become a pharmacist, so you were applying at universities for pharmacology.
Yeah.
And then now, how did it become that you never went to go study pharmacology?
Well, that's because back in high school, in grade 12, I got sick. Yeah, right after our June exams, I got sick to an extent whereby I could not study. I could not look at a book for like 30 minutes. 30 minutes was a lot. My mind would get exhausted within like 5 minutes, And whenever I'm at places where there's like strong lighting or loud noise, or maybe anything that can confuse my mind, I'll get a nervous breakdown. Yeah. And by that time, I'm so worried about my academics as well. And so, I have to balance between not studying and passing with good grades. And then, people started thinking, witchcraft. Witchcraft.
Especially the black society.
Yeah, they're like, this is witchcraft. Yeah, but then actually now I'm a believer, and so I told my mom that no, I'm gonna be okay. Let's just pray that our God save us, and I'll be okay.
I just want us to take a detour quickly. You mentioned something very important, that you're a believer. In your whole career, what has the role of spirituality played, and how do you believe that spirituality is very much important in one's career and in one's journey?
For me, spirituality is just my source of motivation. that's where I get motivation. Like, I feel like, let's start with the Bible. The Bible, I feel like it was just made in such a way that it's an inspirational and a motivational book. So that's why you can find almost everything that you're going through inside the Bible, or a story that relates to what you're going through. So for me, the Bible, I see it as a motivational book. Yeah. And spirituality, it's just, no man. It brings back that belief. The belief that, okay, if I believe that Jesus is alive or is going to come back, then why can't I believe that I'm going to make it with whatever that I'm doing here now? You know. So I always put the thought in my mind that, okay, God got my back, so I'm going to succeed in whatever that I do. Yeah.
So basically, spirituality has made your journey very much more easier.
Yep.
And very much bearable.
That's true.
Very much interesting, very much interesting. And just to be a little bit controversial, do you believe in ancestors?
In ancestors? Yes.
Okay, let me rephrase my question. Of course you believe in ancestors,
Yeah.
because I think we all believe that they exist, right? But do you practice ancestral traditions like burning incense and those whole shebang?
I don't do those practices, and what I believe is just that, okay, ancestors are there, and like I also see Jesus as an ancestor, and so that's how I see people who died back then. So for me, it's just the belief that, okay, ancestors are like, they are there, but the practices is just one thing that I do not really believe in.
And I can't remember who was I listening to that they were saying that they believe that ancestors, yes, they do exist, but the source of strength from ancestors is the source that we are also looking for. So we both have the same source, which is God.
Yes.
So it doesn't make sense why we should worship them whilst they're also worshiping another person.
Yeah.
Why not worship the God that they are worshiping, which is God Almighty? So it makes a lot of sense when you say you do not practice ancestral thing. And there's nothing wrong with people that choose to take that
nothing
route.
wrong.
It's their own specific belief system. And all right, now coming back to Adolph as an individual, right? After now you've had your mental breakdowns and that whole season of you being sick. Now, did it in any way affect your marks in matric and you entering into university?
It affected me so bad. But then I see myself as a wise person. There was a guy back at home who was staying just next to where I was staying. I stay in, just in the township. So it was just the three of us who traveled to that school, which is in the rural. And one of those guys was so demotivated, and he felt like he won't make it in matric because he once failed. So I got to sit with him. I was like, my brother, I've realized that there's a lot of potential in you. He's like, bitch, now you can't compare me to you. Negative and all that. I was like, no man, let's look at these ways. There was a time Molo and you got higher marks than me. And when I checked your answers, they're exactly the same way they were in the book. And I don't see you as someone watching that. And I'm like, okay, how about we do this? Let's study together and join our forces and see what we produce. And that we agreed, and we started studying together. And studying together, realized that man, this is gonna work for me, because he's that kind of a person who reads something and grasps it, blocks it for good, So when he studies, he does not forget what he saw. He takes it out just the way it is. And for me, I have to study and simplify it for myself, so that I may not forget it. And when he studies, he speaks out loud. And since now I'm having nervous breakdowns, I can't even study but I can listen. I was like, okay, sure. When you study, I'm gonna visit that guy. So after studying, I sit with that guy and be like, okay, what is this and this and this and that? And then he says it. As he says it, I grasp it. Rocket to mama. And in that way, yeah, my academics started, coming back to where they were. But you can't get like 100% of what you would get before. Man, I just had to use him, and then he uses me, like
In his own.
Yeah. So yeah, man, I'm just grateful that I met that guy because I made it just because of him. Yeah, that's just one of those things. And the main reason why people thought that it's witchcraft, that's because I was in my class. I was like the top learner, and so that's why people started thinking, boy, they're watching you.
They want you off.
They want you
off.
They want you down. Yeah, but then we got good.
All right. So now let's now move from matric. You first year university. All right. You applied to study biochemistry.
Yes.
And then last minute you changed to psychology.
Yes.
But now you're studying radiography.
Yes.
Take me through that. That's a very interesting process that I feel like everyone would want to know how this happened.
All right. So, since I got the nervous breakdowns and all that in my matric, I went to my doctor, and he asked me what I'm going to study. I said, now I'm going to study pharmacy. He said, is it? Yeah. We all want to be there.
Yeah.
He says, okay. I know that you all want to study pharmacy because it pays, but now let's check your health. Yeah. Do you think you're capable of studying pharmacy? Like, I'm smart, so why not? He says, but then, can you survive strong smells? Like, ish, that one is a problem. Can you survive pressure? Ish, that one is also a problem. Okay, and it was around November, October, November, somewhere there. And I've already applied.
Yeah.
I'm like, ish, yeah, that's a problem. So what do you suggest, doctor? He says, now I suggest you study something that has nothing to do with chemicals, a lot of pressure.
Sure.
And so now you have to change to something that is more like maybe psychology, because with psychology, you're just going to be talking to people.
Yeah.
It's just talking to people.
Yeah.
Or maybe go for something that has no smells, no loud noises. You can't be doing engineering. Doctor.
At that moment, we're not thinking, now.
Yeah.
He doesn't want me to become where he is.
Now I'm believing this is witchcraft because now I can't study, and now the doctor is telling me not to study something that I want to study. I'm like, doctor,
sure.
But I was like, okay. When I got to my place, I was like, no, I think he's actually correct. So I'll just consider the psychology part. Yeah. And then I got to varsity. That's where I met Koketo, whom I met via the camp, gold camp.
Yeah.
Yeah, and while I was with that dude, we're like, ish, I told him my problem that okay, this is what's happening, and we have to change. He gave me a list of the courses where there was still a lot of space. I went through it and like, okay, sharp, here's what's gonna happen. We're gonna change to psychology because there's still a lot of space, and that's really where I belong. Yeah, on the registration day, we went there, we told them, okay, we're gonna change courses now to something to psychology.
And that time you already admitted.
Yeah.
Biochemistry. Sure.
I'm that one person who makes peace with things and accept the way they are immediately. So yeah, we just had to register for that, and now I had to cancel the bursaries and find. By that time, I'm not even funded by NSFAS. Yeah, because now my things were good is that I'm in pharmacy. I got accepted in area.
But-
I mean with biochem.
Yeah. I want to know now at home what are they saying now? Because I feel like not to decrease the validity of any course whatsoever, but in a black household where you say I'm studying pharmacology, it's you, you're wearing a white coat.
Yeah.
To I'm studying psychology. What is psychology all about? So I want to know at home that whole process changing from wanting to study pharmacy and now your doctor telling you that no, go rather opt for psychology. What was happening at home? How were your parents dealing with that?
Well, the thing is, I was spending most of my time with my mom, so I never really knew what my dad was saying about all that. And my mom actually wanted me to study psychology because that's what she wanted to study. Yeah. So she loved psychology.
Karen.
She loved psychology
Karen.
too much, so she wanted me to study it. Yeah. So for her it was not really a problem, but for my brother, it's like, nah, you can't be going for psychology because you're gonna be earning peanuts, man.
Yeah.
I'm like
compared
to pharmacy. I'm like,
Yeah.
my brother, but there's nothing I can do because now I'm sick. Imagine now me dying
just because you want to follow my
so I was like, nah, it's good. He says, yeah, man, no. If you go to it, just go for it. Yeah, it's good. I'll do that. Yeah, plus I never got to spend most of my time with the family since high school because the school that I was at was far from home, and my mom. This is something that I never tell people. My mom made sure that my dad never knew I was studying because they were undergoing divorce. So I was staying at a house, an unfinished house, and I was staying alone there. Yeah, the house I was staying at, it has like 7 rooms, but only 1 room was finished with the window glasses.
Whose house was that?
It's my mom's house. She was building her own house, so I had to stay there. Like, that house is very funny. That's the only house, the only room with the door and the glasses and the curtains.
Yeah.
The whole house is no doors. Even the garage does not have a door, a main door. There's no doors and glasses. It's just that one room, and there's no ceiling. So while I'm sleeping, I can actually see the sunlight from the outside. Yeah. So it was not safe.
That was during high school.
During high school, from grade 9.
You're not scared. Because imagine living alone in an unfinished house.
Well,
That's not even home alone. It's something else. It's
Yeah.
especially in Limpopo. Were you not scared?
nah, I don't know. It was
Sure.
weird because I was never scared. I only started getting that thought of, hey, someone might come and kill me in grade 11. Grade 9, man, I was just that cool kid he stays alone, but nobody knows that I stay alone because now how I present myself to people, it's just in a professional way. Yeah, I started being responsible at an early age. So me staying at home alone taught me a lot of stuff, responsibilities. They used to send me 500 rand. With that 500 rand, I had to buy electricity, I had to buy food, and that's my pocket money. And also, I was staying away from the school, so I used transport to get there. Yeah, but then for transport, I got lucky because due to my performance at school, my principal was like, Emuna, who do you stay with? After like a year, I was in grade 10. Who do you stay with? I stay alone. My mom stays at my boy. What? Yeah. How? Because you don't look like someone who stays alone.
Yeah.
No, I was staying alone. Since last year, I was staying alone. So, but now, how do you perform so good and stay alone? Where do you get the motivation?
Yeah.
I get the motivation for myself. I stay alone and I have to do everything for myself, by myself. So I have to make sure that I succeed. Because whatever that is happening back at home is not my problem. Those are just my parents' problems. Has nothing to do with me.
Sure.
Yeah, and it was like.
But I think that takes another level of motivation. It takes another level of maturity also to think about that. Because me now, putting myself in your shoes, I don't think I would have survived. So I must say, you're very strong to have survived that period. And also, I'm very strong on journey, right? I believe in the power of journey, that each and every single step that you take prepares you for the next step. So I think you living alone in that period was preparing you for now. Because now everything is smoothly because you've been in the game, so you know what happens. That's very powerful. So now, moving now back to, we are now registered at GFS to study psychology. And then 6 months later you job.
It was actually 5 months later, before June. I told my parents that, I think you should save your money. Because now I'm studying psychology and I'm not enjoying it. I don't feel like I belong here. So let me just take a gap year for the remaining 6 months. And then we'll start fresh next year. So this year, let's just save money. And my mom was like, but then, it's
I want to know.
expensive.
I want to know what your mother said. Because first of all, she was already thinking that, my son is going to be something I never became. He's going to be a psychologist.
Yes.
And then 5 months later, you're like, I'm dizzy.
True.
I want to know now,
True.
like that whole process now, what did she act like?
She understood because, first of all, I was not sponsored by any person. And so now, she was gonna use her own money from her pockets, And so when I told her that Mama, I'm not enjoying this, it started like after 2 months. It was like, Mama, I'm not enjoying this. Then she says, nah, man, just try and study. You might love it. I'm like, okay, I'll try. I tried.
And then you saw, what?
I was like, no, man, this is not where I belong. And then she was like, okay, so what are you gonna do about it? Mama, we're using a lot of money for buying books, for registration and all that. And so I think you should just save money and then we'll start next year. It's just like, so you're gonna leave school. What if you become one of those people who almost who be mugging people? What if what you like, Mom, I think I'm good enough to look after myself. And so she ended up understanding that I have to do it in order to save the money and also to do something that I love next year. She understood. And then now I didn't move back to Bochum to stay with her. I moved to stay with my dad, my stepdad, back in North Cape. For the remaining 6 months, and then in the last 6 months of the year, I got to learn a lot about myself. I got to work with a lot of people. I got to analyze all the courses and check which one best suits you. And so I volunteered, worked with some non-profit organizations, and I get experience with the work experience and just learning to work with different people. So it was a successful gap year, which I'm really grateful that it happened.
And then now, the next year, now you moved to study radiography at CUT. How did you take a decision that from psychology to radiography?
I realized, I'm someone who loved photos, but I don't like to be taking photos. So I always hide with the fact that, I'll take you guys photos. So for that, with that in my mind, I was like, let me check what's radiography, and then I realized that it's those people who deal with x-rays. And I once broke my leg, but I don't remember anything about that. So I was like, no, I think radiography will be good because there are no chemicals. You just work with people, and I love anatomy a lot. You know? So I was like, nah, let me check what this is, and I realized that nah, man, this is the best option. I have to go for it. And when I applied, I only applied for radiography at CUT, TUT as well, and UJ. And for my love for Bloemfontein, I decided to come to
You're like the city of roses is right.
I love Bloemfontein, man. I love Bloemfontein. Every time everything comes up and there's like different provinces, Bloem is always number one for me. Yeah.
So for those that do not know, radiography is the study of X-rays. And you see, like when you go to the doctor and then your hand is broken, they take X-rays and stuff. Radiography has nothing to do with radio. And I'm one of those people that thought that radiography is the study of actually becoming a radio broadcaster. So it has nothing to do with that, right? So let's just get that out of the way. So now you're now registered, and then how did you now move from I want to be a radiographer to I want to be a photographer?
My love for photos really increased in photography. In radiography. Yeah, and then I was like, no man, I love taking these photos, and so I always love taking photos. How about I get myself a camera? And just before I bought myself a camera, there was a lady called Twiggy. She had a camera, but she was not using it. And then came a time whereby she also started modeling. And then she's like, nah, you know what, Adolph? I have a camera, but I'm gonna need someone to take me photos because I can't be taking myself photos when I'm on stage. So can you please come and take me photos since you're always talking about photos? I'm like, okay, that's good. When is the event? Okay, in 3 days. Oh, what? And where's the camera? I'm gonna get it on the day.
Sure.
I'm like, bring it on. Don't worry. Photography is my stuff. By that time, I know nothing. Yo, I know nothing.
I can only imagine.
So I told her to bring the camera, and I promised her the best photos. So in those 2 days, I had to go on YouTube,
Do your homework
and do my homework, research. Okay, what is this? What is this? What is this? What is that? And I realized that okay, there's an automatic option and there's a manual option. Which one gives the best results? Manual. How do we use it? I don't know. Okay, sharp. Let's research. We did the research. And on the day of the event, actually holding an actual camera.
It's now in practicality. It's not on YouTube. You're now holding
now I'm holding it, and I have like 2 hours to prepare myself before the event.
Sure.
It was really hard. But then I was like, with the information that I got from YouTube, I was like, nah man, okay, we're outside. So this is what we should do. This is what we should do. Okay, now we're going inside. Yeah, but then there was a big challenge now because I'm shooting, the pictures are dark. I'm shooting now, the pictures are very, very white, overexposed. I'm like, yo, you know what? I can't do this anymore. And then something came to my mind that, Adolph, you're not a quitter. Go back and do that. I'm inside, look at the camera.
Hence, I say I believe in the power of journey. That how did you know that you're not a quitter from things that happened in the past? From you going in a school in Venda, after 2 months going to another school, from there living alone, from there doing this, from psychology to this, understand? All of those steps actually build you to, at this specific moment, you took a decision that I'm not a quitter because you're not just tantalizing yourself, but you know that you're not a quitter because this is what has been happening in your life.
Exactly.
So it's very beautiful how life just turns out that every single step prepares you for another one. And now I want to know that in that whole process, have you ever thought that this is something I could actually make money out of?
At first, no. At first, my idea of photography was just taking photos of nature. I'm not a person who likes his face, and I love nature.
Also,
yeah.
like you're those random people that they just take like random photos of trees and the sunsets.
Yeah, plus sometimes I just take out my phone and be like, oh, this flower is
That's
beautiful.
a photographer's standard
And then,
thing, I tell you.
yeah, so it's like, nah, man, I like taking photos of plants and all those. And so let me just get me a camera so that I can enjoy this more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to get in my camera, I'm out there shooting the planes and all that. And every time I shoot, people come to me and be like, hey, are you a photographer? I'm like, nah, I only take planes. They're like, no, take us photos. I'm like, okay, cool. Take some photos and then give it free. Hey, man, the following day, I'm there with my plans. Hey, how much is it? Nah, it's for free.
Sure.
Okay, take us photos. Give it. And it has been like 2 weeks since I bought my camera, but people are always asking me about the prices. Why don't I just start studying photography and then start a business? And I'm like, okay, cool. Let's put it in practice. Study, put in the hours, work. Volunteer, shoot people for free and give them photos. And then after a while, someone was like, hey, Adolph, did you know that you can actually make a lot of money with photography? I'm like, why do you say so? Show me a couple of South African photographers who are successful and some local photographers who are really making money, making like 13,000 for just shooting at a wedding. And that's a lot. That's a lot of money. I'm like, oh, is it? Okay, let me just go into it. Because they really liked my work. Yeah, and I was still a beginner, but they loved my work. And so I was like, nah, let me get to it. And by the time I started in October, that's when I bought my first camera. And the business started around November. Yeah. And the first few shots people liked them. Also shot at the graduation right here at Adolph. And I got like 3 clients. And all of them were happy. You know. And by that time I was still learning how to shoot and how to edit. And on top of that, I'm self-taught. Nobody ever came to me and was like, okay, Adolph, this is how you sit on a camera. This is how you do. I just did all that via YouTube and a lot of experimenting. And as for editing, I just got the app from someone who, some people with photography are so stingy.
I want to know, let's quickly deal with that with photographers. You see people with photography and people with graphic designing. These apps that you guys have, why is it so difficult for you to give it to like another person? Because I'll ask you, this picture looks so nice. Where did you edit it? Hi, no. Just give me the photo, I'll edit it for you. Why is it so hard for you to give that app?
Nah, I will never say nah. I'll never say just give me the photo and then I'll edit for you. I'm gonna give you the app. You'll struggle on your own because
it's very much complex for you.
Very complicated. So now I always give out links for where people can download those things. There's a lot of people who hit me in my inbox and be like, hey man, what apps do you use? Like, okay, I use this and this and this and that. Yeah, but then the most challenging thing now is editing. You're gonna struggle. There's quite a lot of people who end up selling their cameras because
they can't edit.
Editing is a problem.
Alright, so I think with that, there's some controversial question I want to ask you. I don't know if it's controversial or not, but in terms of knowledge versus talent, right? A lot of people, for example, in the industry that we're in, especially in the media industry with photography, a lot of people go to school to study photography. A lot of people go to school to study videography and the likes. And then there's an adult that just buys a camera, takes photos, and is actually quite very good. Right? So, do you believe that those people that are going to school are wasting their time, or the knowledge is quite necessary also?
I don't think they're wasting their time because there are some things like with me, I learned most of the stuff via mistakes, which is like really good because I'll never forget them. But if you go to school for it, you get to you know what to expect. So I feel like going to school is really, really necessary. It's just that at school, sometimes you feel like you study unnecessary things. Well, when you study them, you're like, these things are necessary because when I'm gonna be focusing on this field, I'm gonna be shooting people, and then they'll be teaching you how to do my landscapes and all those, and you're like, nah, this isn't necessary.
Yeah.
So marathon now, I feel like talent usually or always, okay, most of the time beats knowledge. Yeah, because
But don't you think that they work, like they coexist, they work hand in hand?
they do.
You need talent and knowledge
They do.
for you to actually succeed. But most importantly, I think one thing that we all need, that you can never get it from knowledge, you can never get it from talent, is a good work ethic.
Yeah.
Because you can be talented, you can take the best pictures, and you can actually go to school to learn about this. But
Yeah.
if you don't have a good work ethic, especially in such a tight industry, you're not going to succeed.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's very true.
All right, now you are now a photographer, and you have entered this world of photography. Comes March 2020, nationwide lockdown, right? And on that note, please do not forget that to keep on adhering to the lockdown restrictions, washing your hands, sanitizing, and adhering to the lockdown restrictions. And even us, we forgot to sanitize. So keep on sanitizing, washing your hands, wearing your face masks. So now, coronavirus comes in, and everyone is at lockdown. People do not have events anymore. People don't have photo shoots to go to. And how did now that affect you? Going into lockdown and everything.
I thank God lockdown happened. Yeah, because for now, lockdown was just a huge blessing for the fact that I got to learn a lot about photography. I got enough time to try new stuff, like editing specifically. Whenever I compare my work before lockdown and after lockdown, sure, there's a great difference and a lot of improvement. So when lockdown worked positively for me, and I got to work on my marketing strategies. As to how am I gonna market my business, how am I gonna get people to know about me. I got enough time to do that because I just love Instagram personally, because people on Instagram are just out there for posting photos, So
people always say that Facebook is for posts, Instagram is for photos, and then Twitter is for grilling.
Exactly.
So it makes sense.
So for now, Instagram is just the best, of which I hated, like when I was in grade 12 in my first year at university. I was like, Instagram, it's for rich people, that one. But then when I got into photography, I realized that for me it's like the best. So I have to work on my marketing strategy to that side. So lockdown was a blessing for me, a big one.
I remember when I was doing my last radio show before the lockdown, right? I was saying on air that many of us are going to use this lockdown, because we're still under the impression that in April we'll be back to normal, that we're going to use this lockdown period to draw ourselves back to ourselves, because in industries where we work in, we see everything at face value, right? That everything is quite quick, everyone is moving at a very fast pace, that you never have time to look behind the scenes of a specific individual and say, okay, so this is what draws me to myself, this is what cultivates a specific mindset. And I believe that lockdown did just that for a lot of us, that we were able to draw ourselves back to ourselves and say, okay, let's come back to the drawing board, that why am I doing this? And what motivates me? And also build and nurture your belief systems. So I think for most of us, lockdown was a blessing.
It was a blessing
in disguise. So I also want to know that personally now, taking away from radiography, taking away from photography and everything, what do you believe is that one lesson that this period taught you as an individual?
Let's see. The lockdown. It's just that As a person, you must work on your the kind of people um you work with. Like, just work on your social life, because now with lockdown, being away from people, um you have to speak to those people you've been talking to. And now that it's lockdown, if you were involved with like wrong people whom you don't learn anything from, Rena, you're just gonna be a joke, just gonna be out there posting funny stuff. But then, if you're surrounded by people who are like business minded, strategic people, it's gonna work out for you. So working on your circle, it's like the best thing. Yeah.
Now, coming to the issue of the circle, man, throughout the whole conversation, you mentioned a lot of people that this is who I met that assisted me, right? You mentioned Kopezo, I met Kopezo on stage, then you also met the lady that assisted you guys for the camera and whatsoever. What do you believe is the power of collaboration and the power of the people that you have around you to get to your place of destiny? We speak a lot of collaboration, especially in the industry that you're in. Do you believe that collaboration enhances you as an individual, or collaboration just makes everyone shine?
It makes everyone shine, because your clients are not my clients, and when your circle is way different from mine. So whenever we join forces, we create something big whereby your clients get exposed to what I'm doing, and vice versa. And so now it works for both of us. So collaborations is just one thing that I always work on. I'm always trying to collaborate with people, be it photographers, makeup artists, and everyone else. I'm always trying to to be working with them.
Like the show behind the scenes, you want to know the behind the scenes of everything.
Yeah.
So especially in terms of issues like collaboration, for me, I believe that collaboration is one of those things. They're very easy on paper, right? They're very easy in theory. That we need to collaborate. We need to join forces. I'm a handler, that kind of thing. But now, with the experience that you've had, have you had a bad collaboration experience that after working with a specific individual, you say no more?
For me, right up to so far, no, man. I've worked with the nicest people, so it has worked.
Count yourself blessed.
Yeah.
Count yourself blessed.
Yeah, because man, I've never experienced problems. Yeah. It's just working with someone over. Now I just want to be in this business just as Adolph should, and not Adolph and someone else. Like, I don't want to go into that now, because I've realized that partners in photography most of the time get challenges. Like, if let's say now you guys fight and you don't deal with stress at the same way. What's gonna happen now with the equipment that you bought? Who's gonna take the equipment? Because now I'm
gonna take the light, you'll take the camera,
and then who's gonna agree to that? Because now I'm gonna need the light as well. So I just wanna work like alone for now, except for the collaborations and all. And then maybe moving on, I can have people working with me. But I believe as a photographer, it's always good to be working alone, just to avoid a lot of stuff.
Alright, so a quick question. Think very carefully about this. Radiography or photography? You have to choose one.
I have to choose
for
one.
the rest of your life.
For the rest of my life. Yo! Radiography. I'm photography.
Photography?
Yeah.
Then why are you still studying radiography?
One source of income is never enough.
Ow! Multiple streams.
Yeah. And these two make me happy. Like, me being at the hospital working with patients makes me happy. And me working with my people with photography makes me over excited. So for me, these two are my babies. These two, taking photos, it's just my baby.
Yeah.
So, Mara, I'll
you
take
photos of
photography
people in and out.
in and
basically.
out, everywhere. Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know how. Like sometimes when I'm shooting people, and they're like, okay, I can imagine how your bones look. I mean, look at your neck. I mean, look at your back. Yeah.
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 All right. Now, also moving to a very spicy question, right? Photographers do a lot of photo shoots with different settings. Right? You can do a corporate photo shoot.
Yeah.
Tomorrow you do your wedding, and then tomorrow you do an individual photo shoot. Would you, if you haven't, do a nude photo shoot?
Nude photo shoot. Well, I do shoot nude photo shoot.
Not you shooting yourself nudes, but
Yeah, but shooting people.
Yeah.
Photo shoots.
And
Yeah.
how is that experience?
For me it's good, and that one
How
question
is it
that I
good?
get, I just enjoy taking photos.
Yeah.
But that one question that I always get is, don't you struggle, man? Like,
Yeah.
you know, don't you get like any erection
Yeah,
sometimes
yeah,
when you're
yeah.
shooting or just losing? I'm like, nah, I don't.
You do not.
Yes, I don't.
That yes came from a very deep place. Yes, I don't.
Well, and this is how I don't get it. Né? A mind is a stupid thing.
True.
So whenever I shoot nudes, I try to make sure that my connection with that person is strong, and when we meet like friends. So when you book, let's say 2 weeks prior, I try to make sure that like we talk, check up on you every morning. Hi, how you doing this morning? Okay. Do you have any idea? Come up with ideas. Okay. You know. So when we meet, we're not like strangers, and it's just awkward. Like, oh, okay, yeah. So what are we doing? Now, okay, just lie there. You know. So I try to make sure that our relationship is strong, and that if it's a he or a she, he's free around me. And then
Have you shot like both genders?
yes, I've shot males and I've shot women.
I don't know how was the whole experience, because the thought of it, it's very awkward.
Yeah.
I think the idea of shooting nudes on its own by someone else, it's very awkward. So
Yeah.
I want to know, how was that whole process? And with both genders.
Well, the awkward one was just when I shot the first male. Hi, that was awkward, man.
I can only imagine.
I mean, because we started with clothes on,
Yeah.
and now we're moving to taking them
Taking
off, and
Yeah.
now I have to take him to take off his pants. Cause
Yo.
like he told me what he wanted. That okay, I want shorts, wearing these, and then I'm gonna move on to wearing like just my underpants and all that. And after shooting those ones with clothes, I'm like, okay, sharp. Now we have to move to, showing your skin.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then now it's very awkward for me to tie it. And now also with the posing. Now I have to tell him to pose in such a way that he's showing these, and now he's hiding these, and it's very awkward to tell him. But when I worked with the women, it was really the first time it was really good, because I always make sure that I take someone with me, and I also have music with me, because photo shoots without music just awkward. They're very awkward, because there are times where I'm like, okay, I'm shooting, okay, nice, and it's like the client is not in the mood. But when we have music, we can just stop there, and then I'll be dancing. I can't dance, but I'll be doing something just to cheer you up, And back to the main question, how am I not getting the erection? It's because I try to put my mind on something else than what's in front of me. So playing music, I put my mind on music and getting the perfect shot than to focus on what I'm saying. Because I know if I let my mind focus on the girl, I'm going to be like, sure, just imagine. Yeah, no, she's flexible.
Yeah.
Those kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I try to focus my mind on something else. Getting the perfect shot and just the music. And whenever I feel like, hey, now I'm losing it, I'm like, okay, let's take a break, and then we do some crazy stuff, we be dancing and all that, and then we get back to business.
I think that's a tip for all photographers that a mind is a very important key that you have to use. I think in anything that you do, mind management is very much important. So now I'm wrapping things up now. I want to know that with the future, are there any possible collaborations that you would love to have with people around you, especially in photography?
Almost in Bloemfontein. I just
At least like give me your top 3 people. Let's say these are the top photographers I want to work with.
In Bloemfontein, I want to work with KB. KB Photography. I respect that guy. I'm your biggest fan, my brother. He knows. Yeah, I wanna work with that guy, and also Lean Photography. They're based. Yeah, they're so good. They're so good. I wanna work with them as well. And then who else? Well, in Bloemfontein, and there's this guy. Who's it? Ole something. Ole what? Photography. Yeah, those people are so creative, and I wanna be working with them like as soon as possible. They're good.
From your mouth to God's ears, it will happen. And if you're watching this, he's your guy to hook you up with. Please.
Let's shoot with Adolph. If you don't believe me,
he has mentioned that already. It's very much beautiful. And I've also seen your social media, especially on Instagram. Your photos are who they think they are. They are there. So now on social media platforms, where can we get you? If we wanna book you, who do we contact, and so forth.
I'm a one-man show. So if you want to see my work, you can check us on Instagram at let's_shoot_T_Adolph. Adolph with a PH, not with an F, because sometimes people be like Adolph. Like, I don't even like the way they pronounce it.
Adolph.
I'm very sensitive.
Oh.
Yay. People know on my WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Hey, my name is Adolph, not Adolph. Am I making sense?
It makes sense, I
good.
guess.
I must hear that PH, not F.
Not F.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense, but it makes sense. It makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense to me. Adolph.
Yeah. All right.
And then on Facebook, it's Adolph. And then my contact numbers, WhatsApp, it's 07999 05153.
All right, please repeat them again.
That's 07999 05153.
All right.
Yes.
And then now the last question that I want to ask you is that God forbid you pass on today, and then tomorrow we say Adolph Rammutla. What is that one thing that you want us to remember you with?
To remember with.
If a person anyway or were to write a book about you, that one thing should be about like it's the plot of the whole book.
Yo, that's hard. That's really hard.
It's very hard, and I think it's a question that most people should be able to answer, because the moment you know that what we should remember you as, it makes it easier for you to live your life, because you live your life wanting to be remembered as a go-getter, for example, as a passionate individual. So for you, what is that one thing?
Most of the people know me as someone who's never stressed, because of how I deal with stress. You'll never see me stressed. And what I can say most people should remember me about is smile your problems away. I smile my problems away. Like at all instances, I smile my problems away.
And you have a very calm energy.
Very calm.
That's one thing that I could get from you. You have a very calm energy, and it's very hard for a person to penetrate negative vibes with you. And even your smile is very contagious. It's very contagious. It's It's very calm.
What's
Look,
it?
he's blushing.
Nah, I'm smiling. I'm smiling.
He's smiling, but I think that's one thing we should also learn from everyone, that energies are very important. Because that's the first thing people get when they speak up to you. Energies.
That's what I was about to say. You cannot argue with me with a bad energy. I mean, if you come to me on a high note, trust me, trust me, you're gonna be like, Adolph, why did you do this and this and that? And I'm like, no, I'm sorry. We can make it work next time. So I'm never mad. That's why I say you'll never see me mad, no matter what you do. You can't be arguing with me on this level when I'm on this level. Trust me, you're gonna end up coming down.
To your level.
So I smile my problems away.
That's great. Thank you so much for actually coming through. And I believe that anyone that is watching this might say that there's a lot that could get from the interview. It also shows the power of journey, resilience, and also the steps that we take to get where you're supposed to be. And I think from the behind the scenes team, we wish you nothing but the best with your future endeavors. And the best is yet to come. And that is how we wrap up another exciting episode of Behind the Scenes. Today we had Adolph Rammutla, whereby we're just seeing how and what he does behind the scenes and actually what drives him. And do catch us on another episode of Behind the Scenes. And if you want to actually become part of our guests and sit with me here and we deal with your life behind the scenes, do email k2kcmedia@gmail.com. Alternatively, email motivationbeyondwords@gmail.com, and we'll make it sure that you come here. With that being said, thanks so much for tuning in. Do not forget to like, subscribe, drop your comments below, man, and let's show some love. With that being said, live light, love light, and do let love lead. And remember that before you die, make sure you live. That's how we wrap it up, and thank you so much for watching.